So what happens when you don't know who you are? What kind of gymnastics do you go through in order to feel wanted or needed or included or all that other stuff? What happens? Well, let's kind of analyze that out, okay? Uh, so the old saying, keeping up with the Joneses, is something that is pretty much instilled in all of us, that we have to have what other people have to feel good or to be happy or to do this or that. But we're just extending who we are in things that are outside of us. And that doesn't really work very well because you're not going to really find the happiness there. The other thing is having an idea that you're going to be doing this and you want to do that and you have a desire to do things, but then you begin to procrastinate. And so you just put it off till the next day and put it off till the next day. And before you know it, years have gone by and you've never done what you wanted to do. And along the way, you might have missed a lot of different opportunities. I know that I've seen that in my own life when I look back on it, that if I would have chosen something a little bit different, then things could have had a little bit different outcome. But when I analyzed that, I realized the reason that I chose the way I did was because I didn't really know who I was. So I was unable to see the value of taking on that particular project or whatever because it was going to help me to move forward. But for some reason, I didn't see it because I wasn't sure with who I am. We kind of move into another whole category here that we can talk about too, and that's living a little bit more in trust, that when things come our way, we should really look at them a little more seriously. But that's another whole topic, because it's important to understand that when you do understand who you are and you really get in there and you're honest with yourself, then you can be honest with other people. So it doesn't matter if you have a nice house and a big house and that's what you like, that's great, because you're not identifying with that house. You're not identifying that that is part of who you are. It's like kind of another form of identity politics, which is kind of crazy, but that's really what it boils down to. If you need a big fancy car and you're striving for that and that's what you want and you drive around and you feel real good in it and your ego comes bubbling up to it, then that's not really you. Your extension of yourself is in that car and you become a cool person because you're driving a really cool car. Whereas you can have that really cool car, but if you know who you are, it's just a car. It's just a tool. It's just something to get you through. It's you want it because it's nice, but not because you feel like it's going to fulfill a need in your life as to being included or anything like that. It's just different. So it's important that you begin to bring yourself into the space of desiring to know who you are and what your place is, and drop a lot of the things around you and realize that these things around are just temporary. They're nice, they're comfortable, but they're not you. It's important to really find you as a human being, you as the talents that you were born with, you as the contributor of something in your community that's going to have value. It doesn't matter what it is. It's an entrepreneurial kind of mindset. It's not looking to fit into anything. It's looking to create something different in the world and being a mark of some change, of some kind of contribution of something else. Not just fitting into a mold where we're all the same, we all have the same, because there's no happiness found in that. Some people want to achieve more, some people don't want to achieve as much. You can't limit people, but to find true happiness, you have to find who you are, and you have to run with it and develop it and just move yourself towards excellence and towards beauty. You know, there's an interesting phenomena here, and that is when you know who you are, you can achieve the empowerment. But when you don't know who you are, you're never going to reach empowerment. You just can't do it. You can't do it because you don't know who you are, and you can't do it because you're unable to really think with reason and logic, because you're too busy in this emotional framework of chaos, worried about what people are thinking or what you have or don't have, and if you're fitting in with the crowd or the herd or whatever. or the particular cult that you're involved in or want to be involved in. When you have to dress like other people to try to fit in, all of that, none of that is empowering. It's all very insecure things and insecure reactions. The empowered person is the person who doesn't really care what other people think. You know, I mean, I can say something, and if I don't mean it in a malicious way and somebody doesn't like it and they're offended by it, that's not my problem. That's their problem to be offended. You know, we can get into a lot of discussion about there's no such thing as hate speech. The only thing that's hateful is the way people pick it up. If they get offended with something, then they're disempowered. They're not powerful. If you're being offended, then you should check out what's making you offended and clear that out of your own personal space, your I space, clear it out of there, your natural space, and then become empowered. Step up to the next rung of the ladder. Rather than pointing your finger and blaming somebody else for making you feel bad, why don't you see, well, what they said, why did that make you feel bad? It's something inside of yourself. And when we can get to a point where we're all just saying, okay, maybe I didn't like what you said, but I'll let you say it. And even though I didn't like it, it's my job, if I didn't like it, to clean out what's inside of me. If I disagree, I disagree. There's no problem with disagreement. But we get into battles about disagreement because we're insecure, because we don't know who we are, because we don't have the empowerment, we don't have the power, and we don't have the ability to stand tall on our own 2 feet and stand on what we know is right, is ethical, is morally sound for not only ourselves, but for the greater good to humanity. And that's where I am hoping very much I can take you people to see, because that is really when we're going to have the most powerful, most exciting world to live in, because we're going to not be fighting and divided. We're going to be in unity because we're all empowered. So think on that one for a while. Have a really nice day. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Hit the like button and please subscribe.